Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Lainey, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my adoption story. What made my adoption story so unique? Well, first of all, I was adopted when I was 10. Let's just take a moment and digest that. That's like practically winning the lottery. If you think about all the families that you know who has an adoptee, they're either adopted as an infant or a very young child. So being adopted at 10 is almost like a weird miracle that almost never happens. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey of being adopted and also my family's journey of adopting me. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my life. I spent the first 7 years in the foster family, 2 more at the orphanage, and then 1 final one at another foster family. When I was 7, I came back to the orphanage and social workers would tell me, Jawan, you're an old bachelor, so you will probably never get adopted. And at the time, I understand because I wasn't an infant or a very young child. And that was perfectly fine with me because I was with all my friends and our lives was basically like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan. It was wonderful. When I was 9, I was placed into a foster home and there were 3 boys and 2 girls and we were all orphans. I was the middle child and our foster parents were retired farmers. One day I came home and I saw the social worker sitting right at the table with my foster parents and I was freaking out because they don't normally come unless one of us is in trouble. So I remember walking in, ducking my head, thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble again. But not this time. The social worker pulled me aside to the other room and she began to explain to me that they're starting a new program where they're trying to get older children like myself adopted to either America or somewhere around China. And I was so happy because my whole entire life people have been telling me that I was an old bachelor who is way too old to be adopted into any family. So I was listening with my ear wide open. She began to explain to me that every single weekend, starting a few weeks from now, we're going to start performing and practicing different routines so we could impress the foreign ambassador when they came and visit. Comes the day of the performance, it was wonderful because there were kids from my orphanage, neighboring orphanage, and kids from all different foster families. And it was fantastic because it was a one giant talent show. Everyone's dressed in sparkly costumes and the ambassadors were smiling and laughing the whole entire time, and it was a really great sense of accomplishment. At the end of the talent show, they will pull us into little booths where they would ask us questions about what our name is, our age, what our likes, dislikes, what's our preference on family dynamics, do we like pets, just essentially a whole list of questions to gauge who we are so when they were to match us with a family, we would fit well together. The next morning, I was with my foster father out on the porch sewing a little stuffed animal sheep that I've gotten as a present previously. And it was really exciting for me because it was the first toy I've gotten since I was 7. And we were talking, laughing, working on my project, and all of a sudden we got a phone call from the orphanage. And my foster father immediately ran inside and answered the phone. They told him that he has to bring me back to the orphanage immediately and he were to drop me off and just leave. I remember that being really, really weird because I was just at the orphanage the previous day. But anyways, we got on the bus and we drove all the way to the orphanage, and when we got there, they told him, thank you, bye, like we'll drop her off later, she's all good here, all taken care of. So I hugged him, we said goodbye, and the lady led me upstairs. So once I was upstairs, the lady told me that I was getting adopted. And at that moment, I was having like a panic attack. I was like, what? What do you mean I'm getting adopted? Are you like, is it a joke? Are you just testing me? So she was like, no, it's real. Here's your family. And she showed me a picture of my mom and my brother. In that moment, it didn't really seem real. It was kind of crazy. I just sat there staring at the picture and the lady printed out for me, and next thing you know, I was running up and down the stairs showing everyone my new family. It was a really exciting day. But later that night kind of settled in for me because I realized that mean that I would leave the country without really saying bye to any of my family or friends that were in China. So the next few days it was a lot of errand running and physical exam and paperwork and things like that. It was a really exciting time. I was getting really hyped up too. The night before, the lady drove me to the back of the orphanage that was 5 to 10 minutes away from the main building. And I saw something really weird and kind of just like disheartening. Those buildings, it was disconnected by a road, one side for boys and one side for girls. At first I thought they were kids, but they weren't. They were all adults. As I walked in, I saw adults of all ages. Adults who were, in their 20s, and then adults that were literally in a wheelchair. And when I was 10, I thought that that's what happened to the kids if they grew up without being adopted. And at that moment, I was kind of weirded out and I wanted to help, and I didn't know how, and to this day it still kind of dawned me in the back of my mind. Anyway, so we got there, we picked out new clothes, I say hi to a few people, and then we left. The next morning I met my family at social service. It was a really exciting time because before I met them, the lady who was with me, she said, hey, when you go in, make sure you call her mom and not Miss Linda. So as I was walking in, I was practicing to myself like, mom, 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 because it's been over 3 years since I called someone mom. As I walked in, I remember I literally I was in shock. I was just like, mom. It was okay because the lady, which is my mom now, she immediately ran over. She gave me a hug. My little brother also gave me a hug. It was really fantastic and we really got along fine. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my family side of the story and how they got to adopt me. They started the adoption process back in 2006-2007 and was inspired by a family friend who had just adopted a girl from China. So my dad partnered with an adoption agency and he was donating money and became a liaison for the corporation. And when the time came, the lady approached my parents and told them that it's not possible for them to adopt a baby girl. However, they could adopt a child with disability or a child who is older. At that moment, my family was of course disheartened because they really wanted a baby girl. However, they decided to adopt an older child because they already have a child who is disabled. In 2009, my mom and my brother Ollie went to China during the summer, and they were supposed to bring back their big sister. Anyways, once they got there, they realized that the girl that they were supposed to adopt wasn't really ready to be adopted. After spending a few days with her, everything just didn't work out. So my mom immediately called my dad, and my dad was kind of disappointed because he really wanted to adopt a girl from China. So he went on the phone to corporate lady that he's been working with, and he pretty much begged her like, please, like, help us find a girl who wants to be adopted, who's ready to be adopted. We would love to bring her home and invite her to be part of our family. So within a few hours, I was literally paired up with the Herndon family. I guess by chance, by luck, I don't know. So next thing you know, my mom and my brother traveled down to Guangzhou to meet me. And once we met, it was great. We spent about 10 days in China together. It got a little bit elongated. Usually a process doesn't take 10 days, but there was a lot of paperwork and things like that. But we had a blast there. The first day when I met them at the hotel, they have a whole entire bedspread of presents waiting for me. It has anything from like the Chinese umbrella, the pretty fancy umbrella, to Chinese books, games, or just all sort of things. It was fantastic. And embarrassing story, the first day when I met them, we went to the pool and I really wanted to impress them. So I remember telling my mom that I can swim, which at the time apparently I couldn't. So I jumped into the pool along with my brother Ollie, and next thing you know, I was like flailing my arm, and my mom was mortified. And immediately someone jumped in and rescued me out. And the next few days when I was at the hotel, I had to wear a floaty. No shame. Before we left for America, I needed an English name. So the last day we went to the social service and my mom has a whole list of names for me. Most of them begin with L because her name's Linda. Other names includes Brooke, Haley, and names like that. Anyways, I didn't speak English back then, so all the names sounds exactly the same to me. So my little brother Ollie stood next to me, and I remember him laughing at the name Lainey. He was like, "Ha ha ha, Lainey, that sounds so stupid." And immediately I told my mom, "Yeah, Lainey sounds pretty good. Yeah, it sounds good." So from that day on, my name's Lainey. A few days later, we got a plane to go back to America. And along the way, we met a lot of different families who were bringing back their new daughter and new son. And so it was really, really exciting for us. It was a really, really long flight. And it was the second time I've ever been on the plane. So to me, it was just this coolest thing, the coolest adventure. When we finally landed in the Pittsburgh airport, we went down to get our baggage. And there it was, my brother and my dad standing right at the bottom of the escalator holding a giant banner that's longer than the span of my arm. And it says, "Welcome home, lady." Really, really cute, very, very sweet. Apparently all my neighbors and all my family members all helped decorate it and made it. Also very, very embarrassing as a 10-year-old. So that banner did not go away for a very, very, very long time because it was set out on the front lawn of my house for the next month or so. But the intention was very cute and sweet. After we got home, we met our family babysitter. My sister tried to stay up to say hi to me, but she was 4, so she was dead asleep. So the next day I met all my family members and it was a really, really great journey. Thank you everybody for watching my video. If you like my channel and like my video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or concern, please list them below. I would love to hear you guys' story or someone that you know. Next time I'm going to be talking about my life right after I came to America and how I adjusted. Thank you. Bye.